Artificial intelligence is simply non-biological intelligence. And intelligence itself is simply the ability to accomplish goals. I'm convinced that AI will ultimately be either the best thing ever to happen to humanity or the worst thing ever to happen. We can use it to solve all of today's and tomorrow's greatest problems. Cure diseases, deal with climate change, lift everybody out of poverty. But we could use exactly the same technology to create a brutal global dictatorship with unprecedented surveillance and inequality and suffering. That's why this is the most important conversation of our time.
We are leaving a ton of digital footprints while going through our lives. They provide computer algorithms with a fairly good idea about who we are, what we want, what we are doing.
The way that data is monetized is happening all around us, even if it's invisible to us. Google has every amount of information available. They track people by their GPS location. They know exactly what your search history has been. They know your political preferences. Your search history alone can tell you everything about an individual, from their health problems to their sexual preferences. So Google's reach is unlimited.
So we've seen Google and Facebook rise into these large surveillance machines. And they're both actually ad brokers, which sounds really mundane, but they're high-tech ad brokers. And the reason they're so profitable is that they're using artificial intelligence to process all this data about you, and then to match you with the advertiser that wants to reach people like you for whatever message.
One of the problems with technology is it's been developed to be addictive. The way these companies design these things is in order to pull you in and engage you. They want to become essentially a slot machine of attention. So you're always paying attention, you're always jacked into the matrix, you're always checking.
When somebody controls what you read, they also control what you think. You get more of what you've seen before and liked before because this gives more traffic, and that gives more ads. But it also locks you into your echo chamber, and this is what leads to this polarization that we see today.
Jair Bolsonaro, Brazil's right-wing populist candidate sometimes likened to Donald Trump, winning the presidency Sunday night in that country's most polarizing election in decades.
Bolsonaro! What we are seeing around the world is upheaval and polarization and conflict that is partially pushed by algorithms that's figured out that political extremes, tribalism, and sort of shouting for your team and feeling good about it is engaging.
Social media may be adding to the attention to hate crimes around the globe.
It's about how people can become radicalized by living in the fever swamps of the internet.
So is this a key moment for the tech giants, how they now prepare to take responsibility as publishers for what they share with the world?
If you deploy a powerful, potent technology at scale, and if you're talking about Google and Facebook, you're deploying things at scale of billions. If your artificial intelligence is pushing polarization, you have global upheaval potentially.
But right now, this is something that just not that many people have realized yet, that the speed of computers for neural networks, for AI, are going to become maybe 100,000 times faster in a small number of years. The entire hardware industry, for a long time, didn't really know what to do next. But these artificial neural networks, now that they actually work, you have a reason to build huge computers. You can build a brain in silicon. It's possible. But the very first AGIs will be basically very, very large data centers, packed with specialized neural network processors working in parallel. Compact, hot, power-hungry package, consuming like 10 million homes worth of energy. It's going to be bigger than electricity, nuclear, and the internet combined. In fact, you could say that the whole purpose of all human science, the purpose of computer science, the end game, this is the end game, to build this. And it's going to be built. It's going to be a new life form. It's going to make us obsolete.
Machine intelligence is already all around us. The list of things that we humans can do better than machines is actually shrinking pretty fast.
Driverless cars are great. They probably will reduce accidents. Except, alongside with that, in the United States, you're going to lose 10 million jobs. What are you going to do with 10 million unemployed people?
The risk for social conflict and tensions, if you exacerbate inequalities, is very, very high.
AGI can, by definition, do all jobs better than we can do. People who are saying, there'll always be jobs that humans can do better than machines, are simply betting against science and saying there'll never be AGI.
What we're seeing now is like a train hurtling down a dark tunnel at breakneck speed, and it looks like we're sleeping at the wheel.
We haven't yet seen the future in terms of the ways in which the new data-driven society is going to really evolve. The tech companies want to get every possible bit of information that they can collect on everyone to facilitate business. The police and the military want to do the same thing, to facilitate security. The interests that the two have in common are immense. And so the extent of collaboration between what you might call the military tech complex is growing dramatically.
This isn't some futuristic technology. This is now. AI might help determine where a fire department is built in a community or where a school is built. It might decide whether you get bail or whether you stay in jail. It might decide where the police are going to be. It might decide whether you're going to be under additional police scrutiny.
The large tech companies and their lobbyists get together behind closed doors and are able to craft policies that we all have to live under. That's true for surveillance policies, for policies in terms of data collection, but also increasingly important when it comes to military and foreign policy. Starting in 2016, the Defense Department formed the Defense Innovation Board. That's a special body created to bring top tech executives into closer contact with the military.
Almost the gift of AI now is that it will force us collectively to think through at a very basic level, what does it mean to be human? What do I do as a human better than a certain super smart machine can do? First we create our technology and then it recreates us. We need to make sure that we don't miss some of the things that make us so beautifully human.
Once we build intelligent machines, the philosophical vocabulary we have available to think about ourselves as human increasingly fails us. If I ask you to write up a list of all the terms you have available to describe yourself as human, there are not so many terms. Culture, history, sociality, maybe politics, civilization, subjectivity. All of these terms ground in two positions: that humans are more than mere animals, and that humans are more than mere machines.
But if machines truly think,
there is a large set of key philosophical questions in which what is at stake is: who are we? What's our place in the world? What is the world? How is it structured? Do the categories that we have relied on, do they still work? Were they wrong?
Many people think of intelligence as something mysterious that can only exist inside of biological organisms like us. But intelligence is all about information processing. It doesn't matter whether the intelligence is processed by carbon atoms inside of cells and brains and people, or by silicon atoms in computers.
It has begun to the expensive sales visitation. I will argue with people thinking. He took the tissue, see fashion break, she him. He took fish, just station, just station, 6 to 6 to switch to 6 to 6.